about 3 years, but now he's got this horrible growth in there as well, which is grown probably in about 6 months. And
even after 3 years of daily cleaning and medication, nothing has fixed Dusty's chronic ear infection.
Ooh.
Not good, is it?
Has he got an ear canal?
no, it's pretty hard to see these days.
I'm looking at Dusty's ear and he's got this festering, for want of a better word, horrible ulcerated ear canal. I can't see down into an ear canal at all. It's totally obstructed by this mass. So it's obviously horribly infected, and we've got this big knobbly growth there that might just be part of the infection, or I guess it could be something a bit more nasty than that. Oh, mate, you like that. And it smells to high hell. You've been treating his ear for 3 years on and off, or pretty much on?
Well, pretty much more on than off, really.
Paul and Jeanette have done an amazing job with Dusty. They've been really dedicated. They've just done everything they can to try and get his ear to be fixed. But I really think that unless we do something now, they'll have to seriously consider putting him to sleep, because he's in a lot of pain.
So it's a mess.
It is a mess, isn't it?
Think about your own worst earache and multiply it by about 50. And he's had it for 3 years. What he's been going through is not sustainable. Touch wood, he's in good hands, and we move on.
Jeanette and Paul have spent the last 3 years trying to fix the courageous pup's ear.
Oh, mate, you're very brave, aren't you?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
You can almost not get in there to clean.
Oh, I think you'll be doing amazingly well.
Well, I
if you
haven't
have
stuck
been.
anything down there. I kind of put the syringe down there and it gets part way in.
Okay. There's no amount of medicines and antibiotics or whatever. We can spend another 18 months doing that.
We've tried them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's cost us a fortune. It's been, it's $1,000 a month on medication. It's like it's mad.
The situation is now so desperate that the only solution is an extreme operation.
But I think the only way we're going to fix that is to remove it entirely, and that means he loses his ear canal.
Yep.
So he won't have an opening there at all.
Okay.
And that sounds really radical, and I'm sure Paul and Jeanette have gone, gosh, what? Unfortunately, there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, it's a pretty drastic step, but this has been going on for so long. I think that we're happy to look at what the next stage might be, especially if he's going to be so much better.
The radical surgery is set for tomorrow.
Come on, Dust.
Come on, mate.
It's the only chance Andrew can give Dusty for a life without constant ear pain.
We'll see you soon.
All right, Dust, you good boy. You're okay. If we don't do this, he's just going to get worse and worse and be in pain forever. Hey, Dusty. Hey, stinky dog. How's that ear? Oh. All right, you good boy, we'll get you asleep.
At SASH, there's no mystery about Dusty's chronically blocked ear. Andrew's anaesthetising the 8-year-old to assess how he's going to clear the ear in surgery.
This is the first chance I've had to have a good look at Dusty's ear with him asleep. There was no way I was going to have a look beforehand. And it's a mess. There's no other way of describing it. It's bad news. Well, we're definitely going to make you better. Oh, yuck.
A CT scan is needed so that Andrew can see just how deep Dusty's ear infection is.
I'm looking to see what problems we might have in the middle ear, which is a big, bony, normally air-filled cavity. But when you've got chronic infection like this, there can be a whole pool of infection sitting in there, and I want to see what's going on. We've got the scan of the skull out, and so that's normal. We go across the other side, and we've got this huge bulbous extension of this middle ear. All of this is infection, and it's slowly expanded this bony cavity, so that it's now about 3 times the size that it should be.
The results are worse than expected, meaning the already risky surgery has just become even more dangerous.
Because there's so much infection in there, we're going to be really close to his inner ear, and there's a chance, as careful as we'll be, we'll damage that. and that could affect his balance. Dusty's ear is about as bad as I've ever seen.
At SASH, Andrew was performing radical surgery on Dusty's ear.
This is awful.
The Cocker Spaniel has been plagued with years of chronic ear infections. The situation has now become so desperate that his entire ear canal is being removed.
We had no alternatives for him. He's been in a lot of pain. His ear is so infected that unless we actually remove it, we'll never get him better.
But it's an extremely delicate operation.
It's a high-stakes game for Dusty. I mean, if we damage his facial nerve, he won't, potentially he'll never be able to blink again. Just starting to fill his skull now at the bottom of my scissors, so we're very close to where this ear canal attaches to his eardrum. But this is where it's all a bit scary. Just down right at the base of his ear canal now, so I'm almost about to separate it from his head, and I can just see the infection starting to ooze out.
At SASH, Dusty's delicate ear surgery has reached a critical moment.
Here it is. That's just a horrible infected manky bit of tissue. Dusty's going to be a whole lot better off with that out of there.
Andrew has removed Dusty's entire ear canal, cutting dangerously close to delicate tissue.
Now we've just got to get out every last skerrick of infection deep in his middle ear. Gotta be really careful. Now I'm just literally digging around inside his middle ear. And his whole middle ear is just falling apart as I touch it because it's just so rotten, literally. He's got a bone infection as well because of this ear infection. It's pretty bad. He must have had not only an earache, but one hell of a headache for a long time. I think he was on the edge, to be honest. I think if this had gone on for much longer, he would have ended up with a brain infection. Because there's all this infection sitting right on his inner ear, and his inner ear is just a doorway to his brain. So I think we got this just in time.
Dusty's hearing will be mildly affected, but the question is, long term, how much will the surgery affect his inner ear?
As he wakes up, well, he should get a bit of an idea of whether I have upset his balance at all. So I'm really hoping that hasn't happened. Hey, little man.
Following radical surgery to remove Dusty's chronically infected ear canal, Andrew is anxious to see if there's any nerve or middle ear damage.
I just want to check to see if we've done any damage to his facial nerve and see what his balance system is doing. I always check it as soon as I can when they recover because it's our biggest worry. I can blink. It's a little bit weak compared with the other side. So I suspect that I've stretched that nerve a little bit. Certainly haven't permanently damaged it. Often if they've damaged their balance system, their eyes just flick sideways like this really constantly, and he's not doing that, so that's good. So I mean, that's really encouraging because I was really worried about that. I personally think that Dusty will actually be feeling better. He had a horrible earache, he had a headache, and I think all that pressure is going to be relieved. I think he's actually sighing a sigh of relief now. Hey, Dusty, how you going, mate? How you doing? You're looking all right. Shall we get you out and put you on the ground? See if you're not all wobbly?
Days after Dusty's drastic ear surgery, the moment of truth. Has the operation affected his balance?
How are you doing? One of the big problems with this surgery is when we're deep in there, we can potentially damage sort of his balance centre. Then they can literally wake up with their head on an angle like this and even rolling around in their cage. Gee, that looks all right, isn't it? Hey, how's that balance? Hey, that's pretty good, isn't it? I think I was worried about nothing.
With Dusty given the all clear, it's time for him to go home.
Come on. Come on.
In reception, a special visitor has come to welcome Dusty back to the family.
So we've brought Mia, Dusty's sister, with us today. She's been very lonely without him. She's pretty attached to Dusty and she's been at home crying. So hopefully it'll be a happy reunion when she finally sees him.
Hey, Dusty. Who's that? Who's that? Ah, there you go.
Hello. Very good shot. Oh, I like your mohawk, mate.
You like his haircut?
Love the haircut.
Oh,
wow.
So he's got a bit of swelling just in there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Boy.
So his ear canal used to be there. I know, I know.
No,
It
when
isn't
I'm
sore.
touching it.
Stop mucking that.
Dusty looks really good. Yeah, really happy to see him.
Yeah, he's good.
Obviously well, but you know, the ear looks really kind of clean and he's just a different dog. Good result all round. Thank you so much.
That is a pleasure.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, well, no, it
Such
is
a relief.
it's a lovely dog, and I'm sure he'll be feeling so much better. Yeah.
Thanks very
See you
much.
later, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you, Dust. When Dusty gets home, his life will be totally different. He's not going to be in pain anymore. He's not going to smell anymore. Paul and Jeanette don't have to put up with that smell, and they don't also have to put up with having to medicate him every day, twice a day. It's going to be so much better for everybody.
If you guys loved that video, great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way.